Hey people, what's going on again? Simple Man here with Simplify Android. We're going to get into the second part of my Android Basics video. So without much more ado, here you go. Keyboards. I gotta get you guys acquainted with the Android keyboards. Now, most of these keyboards are on screen. There's a couple devices floating around out there that actually have the slide out keyboards, but most Android devices have on-screen keyboards. I'll reply to a text message I got here, and I have to mend this relationship. To add text or bring up the keyboard, you just click on the field that you want to add it to. So I'll click on that, and that goes for any websites. If there's a form there might be multiple text fields, you just click or tap on the text field that you want your keyboard to initiate. So I will write hi. Now, as you can see, when I type in, a couple different words come up here suggesting different words that I can add in instead. So that's kind of a handy feature. Also, if I want to type with my thumbs, or I like the broader keyboard, I can turn it to the side, and that works with the gyroscope, and that will put it to the side. Now, this works as you would think it would, but there's a couple things to note. If I want numbers, I just have to hit this button down here. That will jump me into the numbers screen of the keyboard, give me numbers and symbols, and I can hit that same button again to jump me back into the letters. If I want capital letters, because it doesn't capitalize everything except the first word or first letter you put in, I can hit that little up arrow right here. So I'll hit that. That'll give me hi you. That will give me a capital. So I'll hit it again. Hi you. That sounds like a teenage girl. So anyway, that's how you use the keyboard. You can hide the keyboard by either pressing this button down here. That minimizes the keyboard, or the back button will also minimize the keyboard. So I'll use the back button. And to get the keyboard back, you can either tap on that input field again, or you can also hold down the menu button right here. So I'll hold this down. A lot of people don't realize that that's available, and that's pretty much it. You'll get more and more acquainted with using the keyboard. As you can see on here, to send a text, you just press the send afterwards. When you're done typing, you can also attach pictures and different things with this attach button. This phone has Swipe, which is a different version of keyboard. It's really handy. I like it more than the normal keyboard. So let's say we want to say, hi you devil. So then we can just swipe from letter to letter. It's kind of like playing connect the dots with the letters, and that comes up with that word. And then we can also do a microphone option. See this little microphone button here? That will transcribe what we say into text. So if I use that, I'll space out what I'm saying here, hit that button, and then I'll try and reverse on what I'm saying here, because that doesn't really sound, I don't think that's going to mend our friendship. I didn't really mean that. It processes it, and it says what I really want to say. So that's a short kind of overview of the keyboard. So hopefully that will help you be able to text and write up a long novel on your Android phone. The notification bar is the next thing that you really need to know about when using an Android device. That's located up at the top here, and these things are usually always here. The time, this is your battery power level, this is your cell phone signal strength, this is your Wi-Fi network or wireless network signal strength, and then over on the far left we'll have any other kind of notifications that pop up. So the way you access your notification bar is you'll take your finger, put it at the top of your phone, and slide down that bar from the top. And you can also flick it back up, or once you slide it down to get it off your screen, you can also hit the back button. So any notifications that you're going to receive are going to pop up on that little notification bar. And what do you know? We got a little application notification. And this is for a text message. So to access that, we'll pull this bar down, and under notifications, we open that up, and look at that. Somebody's saying how helpful Simplify Android is. Of course, why wouldn't they be saying that? So that's just a really easy way to see if there's any new notifications about anything. If you get any new email, BlackBerry users will be used to having a little notification pop up right on their email icon, but not so with Android. It will pop up in this top bar. Any notifications about maybe some operating system upgrades, or any notifications about apps, text messages, maybe voicemails, like I said, emails, those will all be popping up on the top notification bar. Another nice thing about the notification bar is it has quick access to different settings, settings that you might access a lot. So if we jump down to this other tab at the bottom, you can see a bunch of different options, and it's just check or uncheck them if you want them to be on or off. So Wi-Fi, mobile network, Bluetooth, GPS, all these different settings are very quickly accessible from this screen. Of course, you can go to your all settings if you want from here too, but one big contributor to battery drain is GPS. So at all costs, you kind of want to have that off unless you are using it. So that's one quick way to access your GPS settings. Because these Android devices are battery powered, that puts a lot of drain for your device to be searching for those GPS satellites all the time. So if we uncheck that right here, turn it off, that will save us a lot of battery power and let our device run a lot longer before we need to give it another charge. So that's a little quick tip for keeping your battery power as high as it can be for as long as possible. There's a couple different buttons that I need to mention for this Android Basics video, and these are the power and the volume buttons. These are going to be located on different areas of each individual Android device, so they're not always found in the same place. But for this device, the power is on the top and the volume is on the side. Press the volume on the top to turn up the volume, press it on the bottom to turn down the volume. That's why that's called a volume rocker. Now, it depends on where you are on the device, and that determines what this volume rocker does. If I'm on the home screen and I turn the volume up, it will turn the ringer volume up. But let's say I might be on a music player or maybe on a game, that will turn up or down the volume for that game or for the music I'm playing. So it acts differently based on what you're doing on the phone at that time. The power button has a lot of different options. If your phone is completely off, if you hold down that power button for a couple seconds, it will boot into the Android operating system. If your phone is on, like mine is right now, if I tap the power button like this, the screen will turn off. And if I tap it again, the screen will turn back on, and it will go right into my lock screen. I'll unlock the device, and it will bring me back to where I was. This is very handy for if you're throwing your phone in your pocket, or if you're throwing it in a purse or something. It makes it so that the phone won't start running applications, it won't butt dial anybody, and it will save power. So that's always a good kind of habit to be in, to just hit that power button before you store your phone. Another thing that the power button does is you can hold down the power button while the device is running. That will bring up some power options. You can put it into airplane mode, you can power off the device, and you can restart the device. So let's see what the airplane mode does. If you're ever getting on an airplane and they say, yeah, it's time to store your devices, blah blah blah, cell phones, blah blah blah, and you still want to play a game or something, if you turn on that airplane mode, check this out. You turned off your Wi-Fi, turned off your mobile network, turned off your GPS, Bluetooth, everything. So now it's safe to use in an airplane. So great, you won't crash. So it's just as easy as holding down that power button. Again, I'll do it. And then we'll click that airplane mode option again. And now, as you can see at the top of the screen, the Wi-Fi will turn on. And then our network will turn back on. So that is a really handy thing to turn off a lot of settings, put it into airplane mode really quick instead of having to go in and click all those options separately. Now let's jump down to the Android market. The Android market, if you didn't know, that's where you would download all of your apps for your phone. If you wanted any new apps, let's say you wanted to download Angry Birds and you didn't have it yet, or you wanted a different version of Angry Birds, let's use the Android market to find that. So it's loading up, and these are some apps that they have. Some are free, some cost money, so be aware of that. We have a little search bar up here, or a search button, so we can click that. And if we want Angry Birds, type that in real quick. Not Angry Nature, but we have Angry Birds that popped up in the suggested terms. So let's say we'll pick up Angry Birds Rio. It's another version. And that's how you would install it. You just hit this. It's free. You accept the different permissions, and now it's installing. As you can see in our notification bar, you'll be able to see it downloading. So we'll hit our home screen, go back to our default home screen, slide over to the home screen where we want it. It says it's installing Angry Birds. It kind of gives you an update in the notification bar as it's downloading. So now, once it's installed, it says it's successfully installed. Now we would just do the same thing we did before. Long press on the blank part of the screen, if it's going to let me do it. It's still installing, so it's taking up processing power to do that. Click the app, and then we want to click Angry Birds. Now that's on our home screen, the Angry Birds Rio version. And that's how easy it is to get new things from the Android market. So that gives you a pretty extensive but brief rundown on how to use your Android device, the basics. Hopefully you learned a lot, got a lot out of it, and are able to jump around your phone with ease. So that's it for now. I'll see you next time.